I
in
think
there.
you may
they
have,
say
but I took my
The
mother-in-law
building is falling apart,
and she. probably-
but you don't know.
We're
Yeah, I
live.
do. It's every township.
Okay.
Commissioner Unger, would you lead us in the pledge, please, and then a moment of silence?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Craver. Present. Commissioner O'Rourke.
Present.
Commissioner Wexler.
Present.
Chairman Russell.
Here.
Commissioner Ross.
Present.
Commissioner Alguier. Commissioner Lautner. Present.
Thank you. We're now ready to approve our agenda or add a late addition, and have one proposed late addition, which would be the letter of support for TC Connect. Anybody have anything else? Commissioner Lautner.
I would like to remove a few items from the agenda. I would like to remove 3C, 4A, 1 and 2, B and C. If I may, my reasons are, we're going to be going into budget. I think we should address all of those issues during budget time.
Any other additions or deletions?
Where would you like to put the late addition one?
9F.
So
Commissioner Unger.
my comment I hear your point, because we are going into budget. I do believe 4, 1, and 2 are just common sense corrections to a present
I
policy.
believe probably we need to see if there's support for the motion and discuss this at that time. Commissioner Rexford? Support. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye.
Aye.
Roll call, please.
We can have some, maybe we have some more discussion then while the motion's on the floor.
Sure.
As I said, we're going into budget, and a lot of these things we have discussed before, but I just feel that if we're going to get into these right now, it's just going to snowball and just creating a bigger issue, especially going into budget. If we address them all at the same time, I think it would be just a much more professional way to do it.
And Commissioner Ross?
Does the 4A, 1 and 2, is the new director of the senior services, or is it, this is just for another position in there, correct?
It's for the amended job description and adjustment to the wage for the care.
And I'd like to add, it's because it turns out they're both doing the same thing. So it's just a minor correction. If they're both doing the same thing and one is making a little bit more, we just want to.
I would
So it's
like
like
to
a
comment
correction.
if I could. I understand the concern, and I do believe that most of these ought to go to budget discussions. I believe some discussion today at least gets us ready for that. So I'm not going to support the motion to take it off the agenda, but I will speak to putting it toward budget on most of the items. That's just me. Any other comment? Roll call, please, on the motion then.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the agenda, removing 3C, 4A, 1 and 2, and B and C.
Yes.
And you're adding the late edition as 9F,
Right.
okay? Motion by Lautner, so Commissioner Lautner,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Rourke,
No.
Commissioner Rexroth,
Yes.
Commissioner Ross,
No.
Chairman Wessel,
No.
Commissioner Alguier,
No.
Commissioner Kramer. No. Motion fails.
Could I have
Mr.
another
Chairman?
motion, please? Commissioner Lautner?
Maybe take the, I would make a motion to approve the agenda, taking off 3C, putting 4A, 1 and 2, discussion, removing B and C, and adding late edition F.
Good for that, Jen. Do I have a second for that?
Support.
Would you restate that motion?
Yes, it would be approving the agenda, removing 3C, having 4A, 1 and 2 be discussion today, and removing B and C. The idea of moving those to budget time.
Any discussion on that motion?
I just would like to support Commissioner Lautner. Of course, I second the motion, but it seems, and I would encourage this board to consider maybe setting like a couple semi-annual times. It seems like every single meeting we come to, we're handling a personnel raise issue. And it is not an efficient way to run or able to even establish or maintain a budget. So I support it and say, hey, maybe we should make it more policy to review these things at budget time and then some other time 6 months away, except in cases of emergencies where, you know, there's been a staff departure or something like that. So I don't know how you can even manage your budget when every meeting we have another personnel issue discussed that was not anticipated when we created our budget.
Thank you. Commissioner Alguier?
Just a comment, when I read the material on the prosecuting attorney posting, they are anticipating a change and they said it didn't affect their budget. So I kind of trust them to,
Potential, that should be discussed at budget. That's my, thought. We should be discussing that at budget.
and I trust them to be able to
Commissioner
put
Ross?
on their show.
So to follow up on Commissioner Rexroth's, nothing in these items is gonna make a difference before we have a chance to discuss this properly at one budget. There's no emergency, as he had alluded to, right? I mean, so, yeah.
You want to speak to that?
There is one particular issue that relates to the request about FOIA. That is a mandated service that we're required to perform, and the prosecutor's office is no longer interested in providing that, so that is something that we do need to address. So I think I would ask the board to at least listen, and I certainly understand as well the issue, and that's certainly the intent that I'd like to get to, where we're looking at these requests annually. Sometimes things come up where there's discrepancies or inequities that have to be addressed, and so that's why I'm bringing these things to you today.
So you are saying that, you're saying if we did get a FOIA request between now and when we have a time to discuss this in budget, what would happen? I mean, we still have a process, don't we?
The prosecutor has said that he wants to step away from that, from providing that service, which means we need to make a determination how the board will handle that going forward, as that responsibility lies solely with the board.
What's the timeframe that the prosecuting attorney is giving you for that?
He would like to exit that in the next 30 to 60 days.
And is there another mechanism such as a stipend to take care of that without actually making a definite budget commitment?
I have not discussed that with the prosecutor, but I don't think it would be viable there, but it may be an option.
So, without making a commitment budget wise, that we are locked in.
And that's a big job for you.
Something our attorneys may also be able to handle for us too.
There was a discussion.
Let me make a suggestion and then we'll take a vote. The administrator has asked that she be heard on that. That's covered under 4C. I share the concern about off-budget cycle conversations, but I would suggest that we listen to her concerns about FOIA and make a decision at that time when that item comes. But that's just my suggestion. We do have a motion on the floor.
So if I amend the motion to put C back on the agenda, also for discussion. We can hear the administrator.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any second to that?
Support.
And moved and second, all those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
We have an agenda 6-1. Thank you.
You know what, I need to be clear on what you just passed. I'm not sure. Was it Commissioner Lovner's?
So I have it as you're removing agenda item 3C,
Yes.
4, 1, and 2,
For
discussion, and remove B and C
C's back on as discussion.
with the amendment.
Right.
Okay.
We are retaining C for,
Discussion.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have an agenda. At this time, we have our first public comments session of the day. You're limited to 3 minutes. We ask you to address the entire Board of Commissioners, and we thank you for being here. If you'd like to be recognized, please raise your hand. Dr. Conley.
Good morning, Barb Conley, Northport. I have 2 things. One is to express gratitude to April Misius for her leadership here and wish her the best going forward. And secondly, just to, not that you need reminding, but we do have a mental health crisis going on. And I urge this board to support the Crisis Center. That's a regional one in TC, Traverse City, and urge this board to urge the Northern Lakes Board to apply for a certified community behavioral health clinic to help out with this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Russ Knopp, and I am a co-owner of Comfort Keepers, a company providing in-home care to seniors in Leelanau County in partnership with Leelanau County Senior Services. I'm here today to publicly recognize April Misius. My comments today reflect feedback from our clients, our caregivers, and my partner Leslie and I as business owners. Comfort Keepers has partnered with Leelanau County for many years. We think it's close to 15 now, to provide assistance to Leelanau County seniors. Before April took the reins of the department 10 years ago, things were good and many seniors received valuable help. During April's tenure at the county, she has taken the department and its services to a new level of excellence. April is a skilled administrator who has built a solid foundation and processes to ensure the seniors who need the most help will receive the services they need when they need them. She has high expectations for all of us who are serving seniors and provided a reliable system to establish services and for ongoing communication with providers that enables us to provide dependable services that are tailored to meet individuals' needs. April is a compassionate, caring leader who treats all people, from clients, family members, direct care workers, schedulers, and administrative employees with respect and kindness. We believe that April has positioned the department for success in the future and that her work here will benefit seniors in the county for many years to come. We will miss working with her in this capacity and thank her for the opportunity we have had to work with her in the past 10 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Would you be willing to share your notes with the clerk for the record?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Walcott.
Peter Walcott from Christmas Cove. I'm here, we noticed that on the agenda, the request to establish renewable energy task force. And I've been on the board and I'm the director for policy of Leelanau Energy, an organization that's been around for over 10 years now to promote renewable energy in Leelanau County. And I am particularly supportive of this request for two fundamental reasons. One is every landowner should be able to do what they want to do with their own property as far as renewable energy. And the task force could help facilitate that within the county. The second is that there's a myriad of new opportunities, financial opportunities for businesses, government, and individuals for weatherization, renewable energy, and the opportunities for financial support. And even I don't understand all of them as they're being implemented. It'd be great to have a task force that can look at those kind of issues also. So please, I hope you support the request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Joe. Mr. Forrest.
I am also here to support Commissioner Al Geyer's agenda item number 9. My name is Joe DeForce. I am a Leelanau Township resident and also a board member of Leelanau Energy. Leelanau Energy is a nonprofit that advocates and educates for renewable energy. To put it simply, we believe that clean energy is a tool, if used wisely, that really can be a fantastic resource that protects the air, land, and waters of Leelanau. And these are the things that we'll do today and will keep Leelanau the magical place that it is and will always be. And so quite simply, we hope that you will pass this agenda item and we offer our support and assistance in the future if you do so. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Heidi Gustine, Executive Director of the Area Agency on Aging of Northwest Michigan. I'd like to commend April Messias for her leadership for the last 10 years with the Leelanau County Senior Services. She has been an amazing counterpart. Her leadership in this county has been exemplary. I can't express how much she has done for the seniors of this county, what a great partner she has been. Her service is going to be missed, and I just want to thank her and recognize her.
Thank you, Heidi. Any other public comment? Yes. But I know what you're going to say.
I know. I was going to include it in my report, but I can't go without saying it. I also just have to say the same thing. Working with April the last 10 years, the collaboration, the compassion, the analysis that she does, and the partnership is just unparalleled. I'm very excited to work with Lena. I don't know what size shoes she wears, but April has big shoes to fill, but I think her shoes, I'm sure, will be just as big. And April has just done wonderful things for this county. I'm just very honored to be a part of this.
Thank you. Steve? Yes. Kelsey.
Good morning. Steve Mikowski, Lake Leelanau. We taxpayers need to cherish people who apparently know what it's like to meet payroll and have been in business. The discussion this morning about the agenda items is a revealing item of how we do things in a chaotic manner, helter-skelter, and in hodgepodge ways. We, at last night's meeting, it was discussed about the commissioner discussed township board meeting that we're having capital improvements plan. And then we're going to spend the taxpayers' money on all the things in the capital improvements plan. Nothing is mentioned about this discussion about need, necessity, justification, or benefit. We never talk about those things. We never have a report on most of those things that we have approved for many, many years at these commissions. And never do we talk about the fact that commissioners should not be spending money, should only be spending money on essential and mandated items. All items that are not essential and non-mandated should not be addressed by the commissioners or township government except by a petition of the people, a lawful petition. But commissioners and township boards over the years have manipulated things because they want to be able to have somebody pat their back of the great things they've achieved. They spend the money first and tax us later. I recall a discussion a couple, 3 years ago about a commissioner asking for a reduction in taxes, and that was met with fury from the rest of the commissioners. They didn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. The fiduciary duty does not matter anymore in the commissioners' minds, in most commissioners' minds. So what we have continuing chaos, and that chaos has been accelerated since May 11th, 2021, the clerk loathing decision. We are asking you again to begin the process immediately of accounting for all the costs and the harm done to people by that decision. Not doing that corrupts every decision you make here and have been making since that May 11th, 2021 date. Please take some action to provide an accounting to the taxpayers on this matter. Otherwise, you will have already lost most of your credibility. For next election, you may not be here because efforts will be made to disclose and let the people know what you have failed to do and follow up. $500,000 that's been wasted to date is not small potatoes. And if you're willing to let that be wasted, you are unfit for public office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it a public comment?
Yes.
You can pass those. Bill Wiesner, Elmwood Township, and again, the beauty of paper ballots that you can validate and that we can do locally here is what we need in this country. One person, one ballot, one vote, one day would make for no fraud. No fraud. We're not saying clerks are doing the fraud, but it's with the machines, with the whole setup that it is. So many people don't trust them. And that's what this handout's about. I started with this picture on the top. I was able, my leg's giving me trouble until my hip operation, hopefully, but I was able to go down to the first day of the Thunderbird at the open space there and have the sign there, I would have been much more involved in the whole Cherry Festival had my leg not been bad, but we need to get this message out. This is the number one thing, is no fraud. Whether or not people know it, they're responsible for honest elections, and that's all we're asking for. And so I quoted here too, and it's just the signs. I don't have anybody take a picture of myself, so I put the signs in the air above what I'm looking at. So that's what that is. But Leelanau commissioners at the last meeting in June, Kama Ross and Glenn both spoke up and said they trust the elections. And Michelle Crocker is above reproof. I don't say that's not true, but we don't trust the elections, and there's good reason. So Kama said, I've been a resident of Leelanau County for 10 years, and I would like to say that somebody meant that somebody, this is a transcript, so if it's a little off, I didn't check it close enough, that somebody mentioned that we should be leaders, and we are led by our voting system is led by one of the most experienced and ethical clerks in the state, Michelle Crocker. And I'm proud that we are leaders and that we are providing our residents with a safe and secure way to cast their votes. Leaders, yes, leaders will look into the evidence for fraud. And Glenn went on, I would hardly agree with that. I have to finish it at the end, but then I have reasons. Well, then look at this evidence. Thank you. I'll have to share the 5 minutes at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Any other public comment? Yes, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. My name is Jay Johnson. I'm from Empire Township. I've got two things I want to raise today. One is the gentleman who just spoke. He's insisting on paper ballots. That's what we have. Every ballot in this county is a paper ballot unless you're so handicapped that you have to enter an electronic one. So I think this is a red herring, and this man should stop talking about.
Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, please address the Board of Commissioners and not the previous speaker.
Well, I think we have an excellent system of paper ballots in this county. Michelle Crocker does a fabulous job in educating the various township clerks who actually administer our elections. And I have complete faith and confidence in them. And every ballot is subject to recount. Someone pulls them out of the machine and manually looks at them to verify the totals if there's any discrepancy. I've seen that happen, and I respect it. The second item I have, I didn't mean to say this, but I lost a worthy opponent a couple of weeks ago. That was Charlie Knapp. I appreciated his viewpoints. I didn't agree with them most of the time, but I'm sorry to see that he lost his life. And I hope someone steps forward and fills those shoes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any other public comment this morning? We'll have another, at the end of the meeting, another opportunity for a 5-minute public comment. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your comments. We're now at commissioner comments. Commissioner Auger?
I want to echo the lauds and honors extended to April Silas. We've been honored to have you leading our senior services and building a wonderful team, a wonderful program, and serving all of us here in Leelanau County. And I'm very excited that you are following your dream. And I can't wait to see what you create next in your life. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comment? Okay, thank you. We're now at communications, proclamations, and presentations, and we'll start with our administrator update. Deb?
Well, I suppose it's very fitting that I start out my comments also with showing admiration to April. I've known her for many, many years prior to coming here to the county. She is a professional, she's an advocate for seniors, and I know that she's going to continue to do that in her new role as a geriatric counselor. So I think that is a service that is so desperately needed in our community. So I think we're grateful to be able to retain her here and serving the seniors. She has vowed that she would not be a stranger and that she would be willing to assist where needed. So I'm going to, it's publicly stated now, April, so there's. With that, not to take anything away from April, but to celebrate the fact that we are looking to bring new leadership with Lena Vandermeulen to the position. So Lena does not officially start until next week, so there'll be just a few days of a gap. But she has been committed already and spent countless hours already coming into the office, working with April and trying to get up to speed. So I'm grateful to her for that level of commitment. And I think we were blessed with April, and I think we have exciting things to look forward to.
You're waiting for a round of applause.
Sure. I usually start out my comments with some kudos, so I'll try to be quick today because I think I have several comments here. I want to give some kudos out to the group that conducted the children's or the kids fishing day, most recently at Veronica Valley Fishing Pond. And I think Commissioner Lautner had maybe mentioned that also, but there was some great exposure to that, some great support, and about 600 kids participated in that. So it was a great event. I do want to also give kudos out to the Parks and Recs Commission. There is a 2% grant award that we'll be having a special meeting for following this meeting to approve that, because the check distribution is this Friday. So that is the justification for that special meeting, just so you know. And that was to support some eradication of invasive species. So that's a great thing that we're moving forward with on that. We appreciate the support with the Grand Traverse Band. In terms of project updates, a couple things. Lower level health department and environmental division project. That project has been rebid and proposals are due by July 31st. I know that we have had several calls, so I'm anticipating that we'll receive at least 1 or 2 bids, if not more, for that project. So that will be an opportunity for the board to look forward on how they want to proceed with that project when those bids come in. Likewise, the HVAC section, I should say 2 and 3. The RFPs are pending review of legal right now and should be distributed by the end of this month and totally back in August. And then we will most likely either have a special meeting depending on the timing of when those RFPs come back to discuss that project as well. In regards to that, there are 2 EDSs that we'll be looking at today for additional heat pumps. This may be a condition that continues, but just kind of keeping you informed on that. Status on the Raymond project. I think you're all aware that we contracted with Raymond, the company that also does our audit, to assist us with the transition. There's been, the first phase was an information gathering that has been completed. Those documents are now being evaluated by our consultant, Rachel Frisch. And then the next step would be, once Rachel compiles all that information, she'll make some recommendations, and then we'll have a final recommendation to the board on processes, policies, and procedures going forward. So we are in step 1 of that, moving on now to step 2. So that is moving forward. We also are in the process, the board approved previously the rural readiness grant application that Struve is working on for a grant writer. And so actually determining how that will be done, I think we're looking at potentially a consulting type of situation rather than a staff situation. But the grant requires a letter of support from the county. And so I would ask that the board at some point in the meeting, we don't have that as a specific action item, but I will need to just generate a letter of support from the county for that grant. So perhaps a motion at some point would be appropriate. I do want to mention that we have a meeting set up with Senator DeMoose in the next week to talk about the next steps for the juvenile facility, since the funding did not come forward for that project. So there are still continuing talks. And likewise, State Representative Kofia will be here next Tuesday to talk about some of the budget issues. So she's requested to come and speak to the board. And then lastly, Point Broadband. I'm excited that we're moving forward. I just want to let you know that we did allocate 3.2 million for the ARPA funds. There is 1.8 that is yet to be committed, and the first of the boxes will be online, anticipated by the end of this month. So as those boxes come online, then we will be required to start putting forward those payments for that. So just a little update on that. In terms of a couple upcoming dates, just mark Wednesday, July 19th, the Committee of the Whole for our first for our discussion in regards to our HR policies. Tuesday, July 18th from 3 to 4 is the ice cream social for our employees and our elected officials. And we also have the BPW that day. And then with that evening, we have the regular board commission meeting. We will be starting to look at targeting dates for our budget sessions, and the first dates we'll be looking at will be in the first or second week of August. And I do have kind of a checklist, or we'll be reaching out to you about that. And then lastly, we typically have an opportunity for new commissioners to make a trip out to Manitou to experience the entire county. So I'm going to pass around a sign-up sheet for anyone who's interested. We have 2 dates, so we're just trying to close that in because we need to arrange transportation for that. And that is everything that I have on my report. If there's any questions.
The July 19th for the Committee of the Whole.
Committee of the Whole, July.
What time was that?
2 p.m. Thank you.
Any questions, any additional questions for Ms. Allen?
The trip out to Manitou Island, the purpose of that exactly?
It has been historically, it has been something that has been offered to allow the commissioners to experience, and we have the park ranger that meets us there, and the sheriff's department arranges the transportation. So it is.
Well, may I back up a little bit? So the sheriff's department is responsible for the islands. So they go out and inspect and patrol it yearly or regularly. And what they do then, since they're going anyway, they say, well, come on board a couple of commissioners every year because it doesn't cost any more to take commissioners out.
Thank you.
I mean, it's not a special trip for commissioners by any means or anything like that.
Thank you for that clarification.
They are in my native township, so, but I have volunteered up and been out there, so I'm not gonna steal a spot. But I would love to go, but if anyone hasn't been there, go for it, yeah. It's lovely.
And bring your bug spray.
It's bad.
Any other questions for Deb from her report? Very, very complete, thank you.
Would it be possible to request approval of a letter of support?
Yes, I think we could do that under 9F, and we'll call that letters of support. We've got one for TC Connect and one for grant, if that's okay. Any objection? Okay, Deb, you want to introduce our next?
Certainly. Well, each July is standard. There are different departments that provide their updates throughout the year. And this month is the senior services update. And so we kind of have a trifecta today. We have Heidi, who's with us from the Area Agency on Aging. We have Lisa, who's with us from Meals on Wheels. And we also have April, who will be doing her report for senior services. So there is a PowerPoint presentation, and I believe that that is being pulled up. So we will coordinate that over here. Hopefully by our next meeting, we will have 2 televisions. One that will be geared toward the board and the other that will be geared toward the audience. So that is in the process right now. So that's I'm not sure.
Well, good morning. So
traditionally, we've always done 3 separate presentations, and it did not make sense to us last year. And so to do 3 separate, so we combined and did one together because we're all serving seniors in the county. So we're doing the same thing today. Hopefully it will save some time on your end as well. So today we're going to talk about seniors in Leelanau County and how how the 3 of us collaborate among with many other organizations to meet the needs of our seniors. So, next slide. Next slide. All right, and I'm going to hand it over to Heidi, who's going to talk about the demographics in our growing population.
So as we know, the population of Leelanau has been relatively flat with some upticks over the last few years. If we look at the 60, we tend to think about the senior population as 60 plus because that's where senior millage comes into play, as well as federal funding when programs and services start to come in. And that population of the 60 plus has been growing at a 2 to 3% per year. So if we think of the 2010 census being at 6,974, it is now grown to 9,775 with the American Community Survey of 2021. Next slide, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. So this is of only the year-round, or those who claim homestead for Leelanau County.
Those are who complete the American Community Survey census. Yes, it's not the seasonal.
So, right, we have no idea if you were to add the seasonal on top of that, what our senior population would be.
We don't know.
We have an idea. Okay.
Yeah. So it would be a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes. What we do know, though, is those claiming on the census that the population has been growing from 32% of the 60 plus up to 41% at 2021. So turning in, what we know is in the 10 counties that the Area Agency on Aging serves, this is the oldest county in the Northwest region. So something to hold in esteem, but it also has a lot of implications for when we think about programs and services and infrastructure in the county. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. The good news is, even though we've been saying the baby boomers are coming, the baby boomers are coming, the baby boomers are here, they're still relatively young. So when we look at the cohorts within the 60 plus population, the 52% are still within their 60s. So that's good news in terms of services, that we're not having that influx yet into a huge demand on services. That we're seeing the demand, but it's not yet into the aggressive stage that we're going to see later in this decade and into the 2030 decade. 32% are in the 70s and 16% are in the 80s.
So going off of that, we see different needs at different ages. So typically, no, sorry, next slide. So in our 60s, we see seniors that are coming in, they're just looking for information, education. They're maybe thinking about what life might be like as they age and what they can do to prepare for that. When we look into the 70s, that's when there's more information is being shared, but also beginning to look at care management or services, beginning to see some services or looking for opportunities for socialization. So we're starting to see that their bodies are aging. And by the time we get into our 80s, it's a more intense service that we're providing. A lot of times it's, providing services in the home or more resources and things that are going to support them as they try to age in place. And I think it's interesting, 88% of the older adults want to age at home, and that's according to the U of M Institute for Health and Policy Innovation. So, and we hear this all the time. Everyone wants to live in their own home, and so they're trying their best to make that happen. And so how can we as organizations and collaborations come together to support them in doing that in a safe way? Next slide. So this is just, I think, a great bar graph of how we all collaborate. So the different things that we provide and how they, there's crossover, and we're collaborating to meet those needs. These are a lot of the same services that we provide. A lot of these, Area Agency provides a number of these, and as well as some of the Meals on Wheels. We're also making referrals to access those services if they should need it. So Leelanau County Senior Services, we're for county for seniors that are 60 years of age or older and residents of the county. So we provide a variety of supports and services to the residents here in the county that they're going to hopefully meet their needs as they are in support as they age and try to age in place. So we provide a lot of information and resources. I think that's probably one of our greatest assets is being able to connect with a senior or a family member and talk about what services are necessary or would be supportive for that senior to age in place. How can we assist them? And if we can't assist them, how can we connect them with other organizations so that they can maintain that? Oh, sorry, next slide.
I tried to whisper.
Sorry, I saw that you were looking. And so we have a small staff in senior services. I'm very grateful. It's been myself, the director. We have a care coordinator, a resource coordinator, and an account clerk. And so it's important then that we are able to develop collaborations with other organizations. We're a small staff, so how can we meet those needs? And so it's important to work with organizations within Leelanau County, outside of Leelanau County, to really build that network. So when we have someone that's coming to us and really has a need or that they're trying to meet, we can look at them and say, oh, we cannot provide that, but I know who can, and I can connect you with them to make sure that that is met. So I think that's the value in that collaborative piece. So we provide.
Next slide, please.
Next slide. So we provide a number of services and programs that are available for all seniors, regardless of income and asset. And here's a big list of things that we have provided this past year and kind of numbers of how many seniors took advantage of that. So, the list range, we sell foot care vouchers for to people to attend to their feet. We offer tax assistance, MAP appointments, which is Medicare and Medicaid assistance program. We have a specialist that comes in and can help someone sign up for Medicare or pick the great drug plan for them that's going to be right for them. We collaborate with Meals on Wheels and have been able to assist in handing out meals through Leelanau Christian Neighbors. And the pandemic really showed us there's been a number of seniors that have had food insecurity. And so we developed a collaboration with Leelanau Christian Neighbors. And one of the great things we've been able to do is if they had any food that was left over from their food pantry days, they would call us, and then we're able to go out and deliver that to seniors so that food does not go to waste and it's meeting a need for a senior as well. And we've also done fun things. We've had luncheons, just anybody can come and have lunch together, a Christmas party. So our list is pretty vast, and there's something that a lot of people can take advantage. And I want to thank you for all that participated or came to our expo. That was one of our great programs we've been able to provide for the community. It was really nice to be able to do that after the pandemic. So, all right, next slide. There've been a number of questions about how many people do we provide services for. So the graph on the left, you'll see in 2022, we were able to provide 2,048 seniors with some type of service, and just through May in 2023, we've surpassed that at 2,261. So we're growing. The need is we're seeing more and more people accessing support and services through our office. The average age, I think, is really interesting. If we look at from 2020, the average age was 82. And as of this year, so far, the average age is 77.7. So I think that shows that there's a need. There's also an awareness of our program that people are accessing it, and that people are having greater needs at younger ages too. That could be also you could also read into that as well. So, so transportation. Next slide. one of the services and supports we provide is transportation. So we collaborate with Share Care, who has volunteers that provide transportation to medical appointments. We also contract with Comfort Keepers that can provide transportation to medical appointments for seniors. And we specifically they've been great in helping to meet the need for those that maybe have some physical mobility challenges. And so they're able to take those cases more so than a volunteer would be able to assist with transportation. So last year we had 75 seniors in the county that accessed transportation services, totaling 455 rides. And so that, yes.
Are you aware of seniors who use the Beta Link service?
We do, yes, there are some that are able to access that. And for those that meet a certain income and asset qualifications, I am able to assist with a Beta card. I don't, a lot of the people that are accessing other transportation services to medical appointments, most of them, it would be very challenging for them to navigate the Beta bus. Just because of mobility challenges or, and just the time on a bus, I think for many of them would be it would be difficult. So
this is another step down.
This is another step down. Yep. Another great program that we offer is we have a loan closet. We have a medical equipment loan closet that anybody can access within the county. And so last year we loaned out 325 pieces of equipment. 196 people took advantage of that. So, and the number is growing this year as well. So another great program is assessments, and anybody can access an assessment. And so this would be an in-home assessment. So someone calls our office and they're requesting information about services, not knowing who to turn to. Can they, what to do, how to make plans. We oftentimes will have family members and say, I'm here visiting.
So if we could just take a quick break.
We will.
How long are you going to give us, Mr. Chairman?
Let's take a 3-minute, 5-minute break.
Sure, okay.
8 minutes altogether.
What is really?
We're talking about that.
Wheelie?
I do not know.
A wheelchair?
Yeah, Anna's right here too.
Yeah, and she wants to, I don't know if this ever happened.
Yeah, it does sound more fun. I thought you said wheelie. I'm like, wheelie. Yeah. April, in what program do you keep your assessment information?
Leanna? Leanna?